Mr. Benny Appice.
And came back with the story to Okay, hello everybody. Thanks for joining me again. This is like a big family thing now. Love it. Okay, one of those songs in the beginning was The King of Rock and Roll by Dio. You heard of those guys. And And that's not a live track. It sounds like a live recording, but it's fake. So we put that all together in the studio. Ronnie wanted it to sound like a live track. So we put an audience. I told this to you guys before, but for new people, I think we have some new people here. Well, somebody's from Omaha, Puerto Rico. Come on. Puerto Rico, how cool is that? And so that was a thing done in the studio, and then we put the audience in. I did the fake drum, like testing the drum monitor, like that. And then the guitars in there. We wouldn't do that live anyway. That's what's funny about it, because live we would just, we would test this stuff before, just the way I do here, and then we would. Just go out and play the song, That's the intro. I'll explain that intro in a couple of minutes. And I just came back from Nashville, Music City, Music World. What's it called? The Music City. Music City. And there's music everywhere. A lot of it country, but... there's definitely a lot of music there. And you come out of the airport, there's Gibson posters, and there's even a guy playing at the airport, playing some country stuff. So posters of all these different country bands, and very cool, And we had a great time. Carmine and I did the Rock and Pod thing. I think there's some people on today from that, and they said they had a wonderful time. And so did we. We did a thing on Friday it was a big, long jam with a whole bunch of people. We had one band on, Sandy Gennaro. He's the drummer. Sandy Gennaro played with Joan Jett and Cyndi Lauper and a whole bunch of people. His band played a bunch of songs. So Carmine and I got up and jammed with them. And I played one song. Carmine played two. He's always got to play more than me. Got to figure that out. He's my older brother, that's why. So we did that, and then we were supposed to go on again with all the all-stars that were there. It was Greg Bissonette, Billy Sheehan, and a couple other people. And there was another band on that was in between us, and we didn't know that was happening. So it was really a bit warm in the dressing room and a bit crowded, and we waited and waited and waited. Then we realized, oh, man, we're going to be here for another freaking hour before we go on, if not even more. That was my anger release. So Carmen and I decided, we played already, so why don't we get out of here, because it's getting a little bit crazy. So we did. We left, and we were both hungry, and we wanted some, good Nashville grub, and, what the heck, we're here. Might as well go on the town, get something to eat. So we did. We got in the car, and we wound up at White Castle. White Castle. It's a theme from White Castle. I don't think they have a theme. But somebody says they have now, do have breakfast sandwiches that were good. But we had those little shitty burgers that taste like White Castle. Because we don't have it. I live in California. We don't really have White Castle. Closest one's in Vegas, and they have it there. They have 2 of them there. And Carmine's in Florida, and I don't think he has one there either. So that's what we did, man. Night on the Town in Nashville at White Castle. How about that? But the show was great. Next day we did a big, there's a big room, and everybody had booths and selling different things. There was some, Billy Sheehan and Greg Bissonette had a booth for a little bit, and they were signing autographs, taking pictures. Carmine and I, we were there pretty much all day, selling some merch and pictures and all that stuff. It's like a selling thing, like the monster things I do, you know, the Crypticon or Monster Mania, all that stuff. And so we had a lot of fun. And next day was cool because we did master class each in the same room at SIR, and that was cool. We had 2 drum sets set up, and Carmine did his, and then I had to tell him he's running over, and then I did mine, and then we played some stuff together, brought some people up to play, so that was a lot of fun. And then the end of the whole thing was another chapter, which was called Rock History Talk. It was Hanging and Banging, the show we do on Thursdays, but we were telling stories. There was an interviewer there, but he just gets to ask a couple of questions because we have so many stories that we run out of time, you know. And it was cool to see some of the people sitting there with their mouth open like that. You know, I was telling stories about John Lennon. He's talking about Rod Stewart and Ozzy, and I'm talking about Sabbath, and so people are really absorbing these stories, you know. I guess it's really cool, you know, because we're like on a musical journey with a career and then meeting all these people. That's what this turns into after a while. It's like a journey. You go all over the world when the world was open, and it's very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to be able to do this, you know. And thanks to you guys that listen, and listen loud, you know. So that last song was from the Last in Line album, Give Up the Gun, that was called. One of the things I did in that song, the riff is don do 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 down, boo do 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 down. So you could play that simply like do 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 down, da 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 down. Right? So instead of doing that, I wanted to kind of beef it up a little bit. So I just took that rhythm, boop, 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 and put it on the drums like. So things like that are kind of musical. You have a riff like that. You could also go, if you don't want to play the whole, if there's a riff like that, you can go. See? It's almost like the Rush song. Like that. And what that is, that's just a rough triplet. 1 and a 2. 1 and a 2. You go. The sticking is alternate sticking. 1 and a 2. All right. So I just play it in a different rhythm, like that. It's actually the Rush song. There you go. And that could be used for these kind of accents like this. so these things come in, especially the rough triplet. You can use it in so many different accents. But the one on that song was just. See? And actually, a form of that rough triplet is, which I use a lot, left, right, foot, foot. 1 and a 2. 1 and a 2. Slow. That's all it is. Left, right, foot, foot. So when you got an accent like that's a push, 1, 2, go. See, so you throw these things in anywhere once you get them down, you know, and it just makes it a little bit more interesting than just going. Like that. Same accent, but a lot more powerful, you know. And so what else? So then I came home yesterday. I'm a bit tired, you know, and tomorrow leave for Vegas with La. We're going to Vegas, and then we're going to rehearse tomorrow night with Last in Line. We got 3 nights, 3 days of rehearsal, 3 or 4. And then we come back. Then we leave to go to our first gig in Wisconsin, which is kind of like a motorcycle fest thing. So it's outside. We go on, you know, late 11:30 or something like that. And we got 4 shows in a row. That's going to be interesting because all of us hasn't played 4 shows in a row. I've been playing. Thanks to you guys watching this, I've been playing all the time, practicing. But we haven't played as a band. You know, but we're such a, you know, tight band that it won't take long before it comes back. So the things that are harder to remember or the in between the songs. What's the ending on that? I'm sure that's gonna be the number one question. Like, what's the ending? How did we end it last time? That kind of stuff. That's why it's always good when you get together with your band. You're gonna play a set. You want to come up with some endings. Bring something to record them with. You know, I did that with Heaven and Hell, too. We came up with, I got a folder on my computer called Heaven and Hell Endings. And we would just play the endings. So you'd hear us go, whatever song we were playing, Neon Nights or something. That's a simple one, but I have endings. They don't sound that good. They're recorded just with a condenser mic, you know. But that gets you through it. So that's very good. And that's about it for Nashville. I had a really good time coming, and I had fun. I really like doing that rock history talk because we got a lot of stories, you know. And we have a lot of stories because we play with different bands, you know. Everybody we played, we didn't stay in one band, you know, like some guys, like Joey Kramer was in Aerosmith, and that was his band, you know. So I played in multiple bands, so there's a lot of stories, you know. King of Rock and Roll, the beginning of that song is the drums. Right? So beginning of that is what I call 2 4s and 6s. And it's simple. 2s, 2 in a hand, 2 in the foot. All right? You got to play them steady. I always say steady. Those are 2s, and then a 4. 4 in a hand, 2 in the foot. want to practice these, you start slow, you get them steady, even the whole thing. They sound good, like that speed. And then you gradually speed up. Speed's the last thing. So fours. You could do a lot of things with those fours. You can go. Spread them out on a tom. And the last one is a 6. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got a 2, 4, 6. Okay, so what that is on that record is a 6, 2, is it 2? 4, I'm sorry, 6, 4. 2, 6, 4, 2, 4. Did you ever notice, this happened in Nashville too, I noticed, you ask somebody something and they look up, like I just did. Like, that wasn't correct. So I looked up to find the correct one. So it's up here somewhere. Maybe it's on the ceiling. I don't know. A long time ago, I was given lessons when I was young. And it was a young kid, and he'd play. And I'd do something, and he'd go, he's looking up all the time. So eventually, I put a piece of paper and said, don't look here. You know, and then one over here, don't look here either. Look at Vinny. Because he always looked up. But I just did that too. So that's the intro. And then at the end is just a flam. One of these. That's a flam. 2 hands hitting almost at the same time. Not this. This. I want to tune that guy up a little bit more. So that's a 6, a 4, a 2, and a 4. And we used to start the set with that. And, you know, you're playing a big place, it's a big arena, then it's up to me to play that fill nice and strong and not get distracted. Otherwise, I'd have to look up, you know. And then the rest of the song is kind of in that gallop feel. We called it pedaling. Jimmy Bain. That's kind of a pedal feel. And again, I use another rough triplet. That's like 2 rough triplets. This first one's on the snare, 1 and a 2. 1 and a 2. Makes it more interesting, you see. So, also I'd like to thank Chromacast and Sawtooth Drums for sponsoring this. And if you check out on the app, the Chromacast pedal, which is what I use. This is my pedal. And mine's a little bit more raised, like this. And the beater's almost maxed out. And the spring tension is pretty tight. This is a Chromacast pedal. This is a fantastic fast pedal. It's got 1 heavy-duty chain. And that's my setup on this pedal. And I guess it's on sale for 20% off. So you check it out on the app. I think it's $95. That's pretty good. As I destroy everything on the floor here. There we go. Check it out. It's a very very fast pedal when you set it up with the spring tight in the footboard. You got to play with the pedal. When you got a pedal, try it all different ways and see what you're comfortable with. Great pedal, very fast, and I haven't broken one yet. In the very beginning, I think I broke the footboard, but that was like 6 years ago, and I haven't broken one yet. And I have been known to break the footboards before, some other pedal makes, just going some of the stuff hitting with the body weight. This is body weight. But I don't play that way all the time. I play with dynamics, so I'll hit it hard, I'll play up here, and then I'll bring it down for dynamics. So check the pedal out, and these are the new drums that are not available just yet. They will be soon. This is the Sawtooth Hickory. This is 6 plies of hickory, solid steel rims, lugs, you name it. Great sounding kit. It's got a nice warm tone to it, and the sizes are 12, 13, and 18. This is a 24 by 14 bass drum. And the snare is the 6.5-inch pure 6-ply. I keep wanting to say maple, but it's not. It's hickory. It's a beautiful finish. So there's no wrap on these drums. The drums just sing. There's nothing on it. The stain and the nice finish, and these drums rock. They sound really great. And the hardware is all ChromaCast. What I like about this is you can't see it. It's got one lever, and it can adjust the whole thing. It can adjust twisting it. It can adjust the up and down of the stand. It's really great hardware too. Skins on these things are Evans G2s. Got a nice warm sound. Okay, and cymbals. These are Sabian cymbals, double A's. Pretty much one of the heaviest ones they make. So what do we got today? We got Lala in the house. Say hi, Lala.
Hi.
You want to wave on camera? You just got your hair done.
Oh, my gosh.
She got her hair done. It looks so nice. Are you coming by the drums? There she is. She's my interpreter. What's that? Oh, we got Last in Line pens. We're going to put them on the website. And they're black with red. And they're really cool. They're a tiny bit on the small side, but what the heck. Also, this book came out. Rainbow in the Dark by Ronnie James Dio. Right? This is just out. I got one from Wendy. And there's a page in here. I thought I'd read you a quick paragraph. When I joined Sabbath, the guys were all saying that we got Carmine's younger brother, Vinny, on the drums. And he was an okay drummer, not great, but he made great pasta and meatballs. So we thought we'd keep him in the band. Geezer didn't care because he's a vegetarian vegan. But Tony liked meatballs. Ronnie loves meatballs. And apparently I must have impressed them with my meatballs. So it says that that's why I was in the band. I'm like, what? I thought it was the drumming, but I don't know. But you could check it out on the book. There's the book, and there's the back of the book. I always like to see what the book looks like without the paper thing. And it's red. It's red, and then it's got the title on the side. Wendy signed it to me as I dropped the sticks. To Vinny. Great meatballs. Holy shit, she wrote it too. Can you see that?
No.
Oh, come.
Because the light. There you go.
See? Great meatballs. Oops. Maybe I should open a restaurant and not play drums anymore. It'd be easier. Don't have to travel. Okay, so let's take some of your great questions, everybody. Lala's going to read them to me because I can't see them.
That last in line song you did, you called it "Give Up the Gun."
Oh, Give Up the Ghost. Dan, you guys are on it,
No,
man.
I noticed it. Nobody else did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Give Up the Gun, huh? No, I said Give Up the Gum.
Gum. Yeah,
It's called Give Up the Ghost from the second Last in Line album. That's why I'm going to Vegas tomorrow, too. We're going to try to write a couple of more songs for the new stuff that's going to come out, which we have a bunch of recorded already. So, okay.
Okay. Are you going to continue this show on the off dates, like if you're not on tour?
Yeah. We're gonna miss a couple, but it actually worked out because Tuesday, we're doing flyouts. We're not doing an entire tour. So when we go to Europe, we do more of a tour because you can't just do flyouts. So Tuesday's pretty good because you usually play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday. Come home Monday. I'm doing this just like last night. I came home and I'm here. I love doing the show too. I thank you guys again for watching and stuff. So yeah, as long as we can do it and people seem to like it, So, okay.
How long did your drums stay tuned, and how much adjustment will they need on tour?
On tour, usually you get the key. Usually I tune them up beforehand, obviously, right? Before the show at sound check. Once the skins are broken in, they pretty much hold the tuning, and I tune lug to lug. See, that one's a little flat. Snare drum, once the skin is broken in, holds up pretty good, but sometimes I'm hitting it so hard that they do loosen up. Every snare drum I've had always has loosened up, especially where the left hand's hitting that lug like this. And you got to watch for the bottom ones too, because the vibration could only take so much. Like that. See, I didn't check the bottom before I went on. There's the screw. So, but I always check everything. And so they last, till the next day until I tweak them out again. And then a good trick if you have a really loose lug but the screw, what you could do is put a little piece of gaffer tape on it and force it into the lug, turn it, get it tight where you want it, and the glue and everything makes a mess in there, and it holds it. It's a good trick and doesn't move much. So check it out. Okay.
Is it true that you tuned your drums differently for the first two Dio albums?
Is it true? No, I think I tuned them the same. The Holy Diver, I think Holy Diver were different drums. They were one-headed toms. Actually, I think I'm sure of that. I have to ask my friend Angelo, who was the engineer and recorded that, Angelo Arcuri. And they might have been, they were one-headed toms, concert toms, mic'd from underneath, usually with 47s, AK-40, not an AK-47, blow the drum up. Sennheiser 47, I believe. And then the next album we did in Denver, Colorado, at the Caribou Ranch, and I think those were double heads. I moved up to double-headed drums. So they were tuned pretty much the same, but obviously they sound a little different because the one-head drums are real punchy. Double head, it rings. The one single head's more like that, just deader. And double heads are easier to play, I found. So, but I tune them basically the same. The tuning's got to be a spread. Something like that. Boom, boom. This is the big guy. You want it to make a statement from high You know, if I had another drum here, which I'm getting when we get it, the 12, that would be sitting up here. It'd be tuned a lot higher than this one. See, musically that sounds good to me. So that's how I tune. I tune by ear. So, okay.
If you do a song that is on a double bass sound, how do you make it like from a single bass drum?
Well, one of the tricks you can do, I did it with George Lynch a long time ago. I played with him on a tour, and that Mr. Scary song is like, and I don't play double bass. I tried to double pedal, but I'm like, this is not me, man. I don't feel right on this. So what I did was, I rehearsed with George and I played the double pedal. Then when we went and played live, I did it with the floor tom. Like this. I did that. And George didn't even know. He thought it was really good. So I'd rather do that than try to play double bass. I'm not a double bass drum player. You know, you can do. The hi-hat, that wasn't me. So I fooled George. Don't tell him if you see him. Okay, next question.
Do you have the front two rack toms upside down mounted to the stand?
No. Does it look that way?
I don't know. Don't know.
Oh. No, that's the way they go, you know. Let me see. Oh, my God! I go by the badges. The badges are the correct way. They might look a little low, but it doesn't matter. You know, pretty cool. But I think this is from the factory, so this is the way they're supposed to be. You know, hey, be different. You know, be different. Okay.
What is the biggest drum set you're comfortable with these days?
This. Actually, one more floor. You know, I had that big giant drum set with Heaven and Hell. It's on my website, a picture of that, or you can probably find it. It was 21 pieces. Drums here, drums behind me, drums everywhere, and I killed my shoulder. I had to get shoulder surgery. Because when you're hitting like this, backwards, hard, and you're hitting up here, your elbow's away from your shoulder, the more it's away, the weaker your arm is. And it stresses your shoulder out. So now this is tight. So I like playing this kit right here. And then one more tom makes it happen. But if we went to start playing arenas or something, I'd have to get more stuff. That's the fun part. Okay.
How many sets do you take with you on tour, especially with the arena shows?
Well, I don't do arenas anymore. I've done them, but now it's just a set like this because we're playing, you know, theaters and smaller venues with Last in Line or outdoor shows. So, you know, I like going up with 4 drums and only 2 cymbals. Well, sometimes I'll add an extra cymbal. And I like to do what I call less is more. You know, drum sets not that big, but, you know, it sounds like I'm playing the big drum set. So that's my theory on that, you know. Yeah, 'cause I see some sets, I go, holy shit, look at all those cymbals, oh my God. And, you know, it's there more for show. So I'm Mr. Minimum now. Okay, next one.
Are you taking this kit with you on tour?
Well, our tour starts on the East Coast, and the East Coast I have a Command Series kit from Sawtooth. That's what I've been using all these years. This kit was new. This kit came to my house. When did it come over? When, June, May?
Yeah, I think so.
That's when I got it. Before that, I was using the Command Series, which is a lower end. Not lower end, but that was cheaper drums. They didn't cost as much, but they sounded fantastic, and I've used them for 5 or 6 years. So that's what I'll be using on the tour until I get these. I almost don't want to take them. They're so beautiful. Look at the finish on them. You know, get dinged and banged up a little bit on the road, and this looks like nice furniture. Maybe I'll just put it in the living room.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay.
It'll look good.
Let's take another question.
Did you ever meet or jam with Dimebag Darrell?
Did I ever meet or jam with Dimebag? No, I haven't. Unfortunately, I knew Vinny. Knew Vinny pretty good, and Dimebag, no. But we did use Dimebag's bus with his wife Rita, and in Kill Devil Hill when I was playing with Rex Brown, Kill Devil Hill. Rex and Rita are obviously good friends and arranged we could rent his bus, you know. And with the bus came Rita's hairless cat. I never toured with a cat on the bus, so that was freaky. And the bus was pretty wild. It was kind of like a haunted house on wheels. Very dark and skeletons all over the skulls and you name it. It was on the bus. It's like the Haunted Mansion on wheels. But it was fun. We had a good time. It was way more comfortable than any other mode of transportation. So it was cool. Let's take one more question.
Do you prefer arena shows or club shows?
Oh, that, you know, arena shows are fantastic. It's great. They're lovely. So are club shows. Club shows, the people are right up front, and you could really feel the people. You know, you could really feel the vibe, and they get to see you close up. So they both have their advantages. Obviously, arena is a lot easier to play. Nicer dressing rooms. It's more cushion, comfy, if you like the comfy thing. So some of the clubs, could be a little bit grueling. But you could still have a great show. You go out, and that's what makes it all worthwhile. You put up with all the crap during the day and the travel, and you get to the club, there's not really a nice dressing room. And so you put up with that, and then you go out and play, and that's what makes it all worthwhile, playing for everybody. That makes you feel good. So anyway, I want to thank you guys, and I'll be back. Am I back next week? Yes, I am, because we're not leaving till Wednesday. Yeah, so I'll be here next week. So please join me again, and I'll have more stories for you and more playing. And I'll see you then. Keep safe, and happy drumming and happy playing. Okay? Thank you.